We're ready to go. Hopefully everyone can see me. Oh, somebody else in the lobby, sorry. Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Let's begin. My name is Tzvi Lifshitz. I am the Director of Strategic Innovation and Economic Development for Norfolk County. This evening, we're very happy and we're truly excited to be launching a project called BRiNC. It's a business accelerator project, and we've been looking forward to this one for quite some time. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us for the event this evening and for being part of our launch. Before we get into the formal agenda, I just really wanted to provide a brief background on the BRiNC project and how it came to be. So this project was part of a group of initiatives that was originally identified as a key priority by the Norfolk County Economic Recovery Task Force. And the project was ultimately proposed to council by this task force, and council approved the project, and it became part of the county's economic recovery plan, where it is today. Essentially, this project and the accelerator programs that will be delivered through BRiNC, we hope to help new businesses launch, existing businesses grow, and ultimately to create an ecosystem of supports and mentors and a regional network, all interconnected entrepreneurs and their supporters really working together beyond even just Norfolk and with the massive amount of entrepreneurship that's all around us and within Norfolk, and to help this entrepreneurial community continue to grow and thrive. And for me, it's a truly important initiative because I and everyone knows that entrepreneurs and small businesses are such a key part of the county's economic growth and its prosperity, and certainly its long-term diversification. So a really key, important project, and we've been looking forward to this one and very excited to finally get it going. I am just checking to see if everyone has made it great. So the purpose of the launch today is to introduce the BRiNC project to Norfolk County and to give the folks here this evening an opportunity to learn about some of the programming that will be available through the BRiNC project. You'll hear from those who will be involved in delivering these multi-week cohort-based programs, and at the end, you'll have an opportunity to ask some questions. For the BRiNC project, the county has partnered with Venture Norfolk, which is the Community Futures Development Corporation that is dedicated to helping communities throughout Norfolk County by providing support for local businesses, entrepreneurs, and their active involvement in community development initiatives. Additionally, this project is funded in part by the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, and we are thankful and grateful for their support. Before I pass it over to a moderator for this evening, who is Carey from Venture Norfolk, I wanted to extend a big thank you to all of our speakers, including Mayor Chop, Fraser Fitzgerald, who is the founder of That Planted Fork, Karen Lindsman, who is the Director of Operations for Innovation Factory, Kieran Baines, who's the co-founder of the Food Venture Program, and finally, Alex Brown, co-founder of E-Commerce Rockstars. All of these individuals are rock stars, and we're really excited and thankful that they can be part of this launch today and to share some of this information with you this evening. And then finally, before we get going, I just wanted to mention a couple of technical pieces. As I said, the meeting is being recorded, and a copy of the meeting will be posted on the BRiNC website after the meeting. For optimal sound quality, I ask that unless you're speaking, that you leave your mic muted and that you leave your video off. At some point, I think right now everybody doesn't have the ability to turn their video on, but at some point I will make that an option so that when we get to the Q&A, if you want to, you can actually come up on video. But until you're actually speaking or asking a question, we ask that you leave your video and your audio off. Also, as I mentioned, when we do jump into the Q&A, you'll have the ability to do it through video, but you can also use the chat function. And for anyone who's not familiar with the chat function and in Microsoft Teams, you basically along the top, typically along the top, depending what version you're using, you'll see a bubble, like a cartoon speech bubble. You click on that and that will get you into the chat and you can put your question in there. If you do have a question and you would like to do it through video, please use the hand raise function. Again, you'll see an icon along the top. It looks like a little smiley face with a hand. If you hover over that, it'll bring up some emoticons and an option for a raise hand feature so that we can go to you because we'll know that you have a question. Just keep in mind that once your question is answered, please repeat that process and actually lower your hand so that we know that you don't have an additional question. So that's pretty much it. So from me. So with that, I'd like to pass it over to our moderator for this evening, Christine Carey, who's the general manager at Venture Norfolk. Christine has a passion for creating and implementing new business opportunities and has a deep background in working with businesses. And this makes Christine and Venture Norfolk the perfect partners for BRiNC. So we're excited to have them as partners and even more excited to have them here this evening. So with that, Christine, over to you.
Thank you very much, Zvi, and welcome everyone to what I'm sure will be a fantastic evening. Good afternoon. I'm Christine Carey. I'm General Manager of Venture Norfolk here in Simcoe, Ontario. Venture Norfolk is one of over 20 community futures development corporations in Western Ontario, and our mandate is to support rural entrepreneurs by providing access to capital, aka money and loans, and business consulting services. We are funded by the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario, but we are governed by a volunteer board of directors who are locals. These folks have been raised in Norfolk County, born in Norfolk County. Most importantly, they operated businesses in Norfolk County. Their expertise and experience spans businesses of all shapes and sizes. They volunteer with us to support and grow the next generation of business leaders in Norfolk County. I say Venture Norfolk is very proud to join forces with the county and Zvi and his team, OMAFRA, to bring the Brink to life in this county. We look forward to being of assistance to each of you along your entrepreneurial journey, big or small, long or short. We love entrepreneurs, and our motto at Venture Norfolk is, if we can't help you, we'll certainly leave you better than we found you, and we'll find you the support. So from that, I would just like to say thank you for the opportunity to participate here, and I'd like to move on to our agenda. First, I would like to introduce Mayor Crystal Chop. I'm very proud to introduce Mayor Crystal Chop. She is a fiercely dedicated advocate for all things Norfolk as a resident of beautiful Port Dover, an accomplished graduate of the Richard Ivey School of Business, the University of Western Ontario, and McMaster University. Mayor Chop holds an MBA, an engineering degree, and a law degree. On rare occasions when Mayor Chop is not in her office at the County Administration Building or making stops within the community, she is watching over Norfolk County from 30,000 feet above the cockpit of a 787 aircraft as an airline pilot. Please welcome Mayor Crystal Chop.
Thank you very much, Christine, for the kind introduction, and welcome everyone. Being an entrepreneur, we know, isn't easy. Taking the financial risks, putting yourself on the line to chase a dream, to be your own boss, and to create jobs for others who depend on you isn't for the faint of heart. Entrepreneurs try, they fail, and they try again, only better. Entrepreneurs not only build businesses, entrepreneurs build economies, and they create the conditions for the continued growth and development of our community. They and the businesses they run are the engines of our future prosperity, and that is why we are here today, to celebrate and to support entrepreneurs in Norfolk County and to launch the county's first entrepreneurship pilot project. Both Norfolk County's Economic Recovery Plan and its Economic Development Strategic Plan called for a strong ecosystem to support entrepreneurs. Why? Because doing so will help to diversify our economy, launch new businesses, scale and strengthen our existing businesses, and create a hub for local entrepreneurs that will integrate into the broader world-class entrepreneurship community in Southwestern Ontario. BRiNC is a one-year pilot project funded in part by the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs and Venture Norfolk, and is coordinated by Norfolk County's Economic Development Department in collaboration with Venture Norfolk, Brantford Brant Business Resource Center, and the Innovation Factory in Hamilton. BRiNC capitalizes on Norfolk County's strong entrepreneurial culture by helping businesses to launch, to scale, and to succeed. The online training offered through our speakers tonight has been carefully designed to help you start a business, grow your business, increase your sales, enter new markets, build your brand, and more. Whether you are a food vendor with a stall at the farmer's market or a new digital entrepreneur working remotely, these courses offer value for every business. And what I really like about this project is the opportunity for peer group discussions and one-on-one benefit of the learning with the first-hand support of peers and experts. The cohorts are free to Norfolk-based businesses and they are filling up rapidly. So I urge you to go to the county's website and register now. In closing, I want to thank Venture Norfolk, the Innovation Factory, the Food Venture Program, That Planted Fork, and e-commerce rockstars for being here and presenting tonight. I also want to acknowledge the work of Norfolk's Economic Development Department and our Communications Department in organizing this event. And to all the entrepreneurs who are participating, I say thank you for joining us tonight and helping us to launch BRiNC. We celebrate your success. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Mayor Chop. Very inspirational. Thank you. It is my pleasure right now to introduce our first guest speaker, Fraser Fitzgerald, founder of That Planted Fork. Now, Fraser is a plant-based chef, cooking and living in Hamilton, Ontario. He loves showing people how to cook great plant-based foods and gain that confidence in the kitchen. He has launched multiple menus and taught across the GTA, but since 2020, has landed online doing recipe development, partnering with awesome brands like President's Choice, and teaching people how to cook from their homes. He is the founder of No Bones, part of That Planted Fork, a plant-based food company that brings the comfort food you crave. He has expanded his company to include a stand at the Hamilton Farmers Market, online cooking classes, wholesale distribution, and meal ordering, and more. Without further ado, please welcome Fraser Fitzgerald.
Hey there, thanks for the great intro there. So yeah, my name's Fraser. I'm the chef and owner of That Planted Fork, and thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to chat. I'm a client of the Innovation Factory, and they'll be helping run the Business Accelerator program for BRiNC. So yeah, if we want to go into the next slide there.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
Alrighty. Cool. So that was a great intro, but I'm just going to kind of elaborate a little bit on kind of my journey to get here, because, being an entrepreneur, it's not like you woke up one day and, you had $1 million in your bank account and you were like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then you open a store and you make tons of money. It really is a journey. And for me, that journey is like a combination of, these three things: expertise, passion, and opportunity. You kind of need all three of these things to find success, or your version of success. And yeah, for me, this started really like 10 years ago when I started working in kitchens. I knew almost right away that like the line cook chef role, it wasn't really for me. It wasn't really something that I was, perfectly aligned with. And, it was fun and exciting, but it was like I always wanted more. I always wanted to be my own boss, but the thought of like running a restaurant just seemed extremely stressful to me. But I put in the time trying to get the, expertise and the knowledge of cooking. I went to culinary school, worked in numerous kitchens around Toronto. And then about 2 to 3 years ago, or I guess now it's probably 4 years now, I decided to go out on my own, and I really enjoyed teaching and, teaching the younger kids in the kitchens how to do stuff. And yeah, I thought that, maybe teaching is my path. And so I was really fortunate that I was able to teach one of my old business owners. He saw that kind of passion in me, and he allowed me to use their space to do cooking classes kind of after hours. And that really gave me the confidence to be like, okay, this is a viable business. People are showing up, and, I'm really passionate about this, and now I have the opportunity to do it. So why don't I, keep on going and see where this leads? So I quit my job in the kitchen and I started teaching classes on my own. at breweries, wineries, all around Hamilton and kind of like the Niagara area. And yeah, I was doing that for about a year, 2 years. And then, obviously March 2020 happened, and, really meeting in person wasn't really an option then. So I had to kind of pivot. And this is kind of like a big thought with entrepreneurship. Like, I find especially it's even more relevant now with COVID. It's like every week you can turn on the news and your business is at jeopardy. So you really have to get good at like not really staying too comfortable and being like, okay, kind of adjusting to what life throws you, which is very apparent as an entrepreneur, but even more so now with COVID, because you could wake up one day and no one can show up at your store because they're not allowed to come in, and you have to kind of figure out like, okay, how am I going to make this work? So if you click onto the next slide there. Perfect. So yeah, March 2020 happened, and I was like, okay, I can't teach anymore. So how am I going to do this? I tried to teach online, and I feel like people were kind of zoomed out. So I started to come up with these ideas of, I still want to educate people. I still want to show people how to eat good food. So I thought of this idea of meal kits because people, especially my younger generation of millennials, they don't really know how to cook. Everyone's ordering on Uber Eats, stuff like that. So I thought, why don't I bring the food to them with a recipe card, and maybe that'll get their foot in the door and they can be like, okay, I can manage this and I'll try this out and maybe I'll skip Uber tonight. That's what I did. I started with pizza kits because pizza's very approachable. Everyone likes pizza. So the top right picture there is one of our pizza meal kits. Another cool part with being an entrepreneur is the ability that you get to network with other small businesses. Networking, I think, is one of my top skills in life, really. So this pizza kit in the photo here is actually a collaboration I did with like a plant-based Middle Eastern restaurant in Oakville. They provided like the plant-based shawarma meat. I provided the dough and all the toppings and stuff, and then the customer would get all that packaged up, and all they'd have to do is follow the recipe. And then pizza kits were going well, so I started to expand, and I did pasta kits, like you'll see in the bottom left photo there. That's our Ravioli Pasta Kit. So I met another business owner who was doing fresh pasta, and I started, he would supply the pasta, I'd supply the sauce, the toppings, everything like that. And then people would kind of go from there, and I was slowly growing and people were kind of getting it. So I thought, why don't I expand? Why don't I get a space in the Hamilton Farmers Market, which is kind of like a permanent stall. So I actually set it up to be like my production kitchen. And yeah, so that's kind of, sorry, I was getting some feedback there. Anyway, so that's kind of what I did. I was just kind of doing that. And then as I was realizing that, the meal kits aren't really working out, people don't really get it. At the same time, people are coming to the farmer's market. They're expecting to buy food to like eat right there. So there again was like a second pivot. This was like 2021, where I started to come out with like prepared meals. So basically pretty similar to the pasta kits and pizza stuff, but it was just like basically making the pasta for them, and then they would take it home and just bake it in the oven. So it was even simpler than that. And then if you get into the next slide there, this is where I started to bring in Innovation Factory. Again, I really, really enjoy networking with other businesses. So I reached out to Margaret Coons, who is kind of like not really an idol, but someone that I look up to in the plant-based space. She started her company about 5-6 years ago, maybe longer. Her brand's called Nuts for Cheese. It's a dairy-free cheese option. It's sold all across Canada, so it's super inspiring. So, I just reached out to her, and reaching out to someone is as simple as going to their Instagram and sending them a direct message and, just kind of shooting your shot and seeing what happens. You never know. The worst thing that'll happen is they just don't respond. But at least you got to ask them. And then she responded, and it turns out we have some mutual connections in mind. She grew up in Hamilton. So yeah, we just had a phone call one day, and she was kind of, she kept talking about the Innovation Factory and how helpful they were to her. And, it was just an amazing kind of experience that kind of put her in the position that she was in to kind of scale her business and truly grow. So that's kind of where I first heard of the Innovation Factory. Up until then, I was just kind of like freestyling it on my own, kind of like, asking for help from like my family and friends that were in businesses, but really no real experience. My expertise was really in cooking and, running a kitchen and stuff like that. But when it comes to growing a business and, marketing and stuff like that, I was just kind of just figuring it out as I went. So if you click onto the next slide there, so this is kind of currently where I'm at. So I had that meeting with Margaret. She connected me to Innovation Factory. The Innovation Factory connected me with a mentor. And basically my mentor's name is John Holland. He's an amazing older gentleman and very positive guy with years and years of business experience. And that's kind of what I was missing. That was like the many missing pieces in my puzzle, but definitely the ability to scale and like think big picture was kind of something that I was lacking. And John just wasn't able to connect me with, other businesses that he had kind of mentored in Hamilton and through the Innovation Factory, and, opened a lot of doors for me and made me think, like I said earlier, like big picture. And the key was made me feel very supportive, and he only wants the best for me and for that Planted Fork. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm currently at. These are, sorry, I didn't really touch on, but outside of the prepared meals, I'm dabbling in some wholesale product. So these are our sausage rolls. They've come a long way with John's kind of knowledge and expertise. I've kind of shown him my packaging vision, and he's kind of been like, okay, it needs to be French. It needs to have the nutritional label. It needs to have this and this. So the picture on the right is kind of where we're currently at. Again, everything is a journey, so I'm definitely not 100% there yet, but I'm pretty happy with this current product. We're in about 15 stores in the Hamilton GTA area, and these are our frozen sausage rolls. They come in a 4-pack. As well, I'm starting to sell a line of dips, plant-based dips, and I'm working with John to kind of get the packaging down for that. But yeah, I'm really fortunate to know John and meet him, and the Innovation Factory has been a tremendous kind of like support system where they have a lot of workshops, amazing workshops that they kind of teach you and show you things about running a business that you might have never thought of before, like how do you really operate like public relations. I don't know everyone's business here, but coming from a kitchen background, I know how to cook. I know how to, being a millennial, I know how to take a photo and post it on social media. But, that's really my ability kind of ends there. And it really goes to show like networking and reaching out to people really, really provides you that support system that I really value. And it makes you not feel as alone. And because entrepreneurship is very lonely. Regardless of what you think, I can promise you, unless you have like a partnership or something, it's a lot of nights, just sitting at your computer trying to figure out what to do next. So having someone there like John or like the Innovation Factory or just other people, like-minded people in your network, goes a really long way. So if you want to click the next slide there. So, with that said, definitely toss me a follow on Instagram. Here you'll see that neither of these things say that Planted Fork. That's because I'm kind of in the middle of rebranding. So I'm kind of positioning myself as a plant-based chef in the digital space with Fraser Cooks. So that's more of my personal page. If you're interested in getting in touch and like kind of networking, definitely reach me there. You can literally, any question is a good question. Because I was always that kid in school that was too afraid to ask questions, and now I'm like, I have no problem networking with anyone. So it's really interesting seeing that come full circle. And then my other Instagram is Eat No Bones. That's that Planted Fork. I'm changing the name to No Bones Kitchen. Unfortunately, that Instagram handle was taken, so I had to change to Eat No Bones. That's kind of where you're going to find the line of wholesale products, as well as my space at the farmers market and kind of what's going on there. I wanted to separate the two so it wasn't confusing for the consumer. And yeah, I should have mentioned this off the top, but I'm going to have a little kind of couple minutes here for any questions. You can put them in the chat if you have any questions at all, or you can just kind of ask them right now. But yeah, so that's kind of the speech. Thank you so much again for everyone for having me on. I hope I inspired some people at least. And yeah, if you're ever in Hamilton, shoot me a message, and I'd love to go for coffee or something and just chat about business and where you're at. So thank you for the branding compliment. That was a touchy subject for some people because a lot, especially in food, people think that you need a photo of your product. And I think with social media, you can have enough photos on there. So yeah, with that said, I think I'm finished. So I'm going to mute myself now.
Thank you very much, Fraser, for that wonderful recount of your journey. Before we move on to the next, we'll do a little plug for those entrepreneurs in Norfolk County who are feeling lonely. Venture Norfolk, we had a lot of calls like that, and we'll be happy to field that so you don't feel so lonely. And if you need to, Fraser, give us a call. We'll be happy to help. Moving on to our next on our agenda, I would have the privilege of introducing our next speaker, Kieran Baines. Kieran Baines, she has quite a lovely bio here. Kieran Baines, she's an entrepreneur and co-founder of the Food Venture Program. Kieran is a registered dietitian and co-founder of Food Venture Program. Food Venture Program is an online food business incubator organization that helps food entrepreneurs turn their recipes into retail-ready products. Aside from this, Kieran is also founder of Kiki's Cookies, a gluten-free bakery, which she started while she was completing a master's degree in food marketing at the University of Guelph. Well, everyone, let's pay attention to what Kieran has to say. We look forward to your presentation today, Kieran.
Great. Thank you so much for the intro, Christine. I'm just going to share my screen. I have some slides. Bear with me 1 second. All right. Zvi or someone, could you just confirm that you can see my slides?
Yes, we can see them. If you want to go into the slideshow mode, we'll see them even bigger.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So I will do a little bit more of an intro to myself. So my name is Kieran. I am co-founder of Food Venture Program and owner of Kiki's Cookies. And here's a picture of the cookies that I sell within Guelph. So I do live in Guelph, but I'm actually from London and spent a lot of time in Norfolk County growing up, going to the beaches out there. And so your region is close to my heart. And actually, I'm moving back towards that area in the next few months. So excited to be running this program for you all. There's a little bit about me, and I'm also running an entrepreneurship incubator for the University of Guelph as well. So kind of dabbling in food and innovation and entrepreneurship. So aside from just myself at Food Venture Program, we have a team of over 100+ years combined of food industry experience. We have a ton of team members that have expertise in areas such as food packaging and labeling and food science, recipe development, sustainability, repurposing, food waste, for example, just a ton of different experts that speak within our programs. My co-founder, Seema here, who if you take our program, you'll meet her as well. We both founded Food Venture Program, and we do also teach in our programs, of course, as well. We offer 6 different programs, but I'm going to focus on the Farm to Retail program, and this is the program that Norfolk County is running. We do have other programs, and we are running these programs in different parts of Canada throughout the rest of the year. So just if you're interested in any of these other ones, you can keep an eye out for them. Perhaps Norfolk may offer one in the future, who knows? But right now we're running the Farm to Retail program. So this is a 10-session program. And if you have a food product like Fraser, and maybe you're only in the idea stage and you don't really know exactly what it looks like yet, maybe you're a farmer and you have produce that you're looking to process and turn into a packaged good, this is the program for you. So we've run it probably over 10 times in the past year now. We have graduates from this program who have gotten their products into stores like Longo's, Loblaws, Whole Foods. A lot of them started in a farmer's market and their goal was to actually get into national distribution. And some of the people that go through our program really only want to just sell in a farmer's market and they want to keep it as a side hustle. So we do make sure that the program fits both of those types of entrepreneurs. And so really in a nutshell, it's a suitable program if you're a farmer, but if you're not, and maybe you're just an entrepreneur like me who's sourcing your ingredients for your food product locally, this program would work for you as well. So my cookie business, I source my honey from a local Guelph farmer within a 200-kilometer radius, as well as my oats and different things that I include in my gluten-free cookies. So this program really just helps you to add value to the ingredients that you're processing. So for example, we have Perry here who graduated from our program. She's a dairy farmer and she wanted to turn her dairy into a halloumi cheese. And so she's actually, this is a prototype of her product. She's still actually working on getting it out into stores. But this program was perfect for her because we really helped her with the branding, made sure that she was able to talk about the fact that it was local and bring that story into her branding. So a big part of this program is also storytelling and helping you get that story out there in your branding. So it's a 10-session program. We're running it twice a week for 5 weeks. So you start off with learning about food trends and how to predict food trends as well. And then I teach the first session. We also talk about idea feasibility. So making sure that your idea is actually going to be successful and it's going to be a long-term viable business. I won't go through every single class here, but basically by the end of this program, you will be able to have a prototype of your food product, depending on how fast you work, because we provide you all the information you need. You also get access to our mentors. So we have myself as a mentor, our co-founder Seema, and other speakers in our program that offer mentorship as you go throughout the program. So if you're in this program, you can email us at any time and we'll give you tips and offer to chat with you one-on-one as well to help you further your product. So that's the program in a nutshell, and then just some more details. So it's gonna run twice a week. It starts February 14th, it ends March 21st. It runs Monday and Wednesday evenings. And we do record the sessions. They're only available for up to 2 months after the program is over, just because I know sometimes people can't always attend each class. And we also send out resources as well. And it's on Zoom, unfortunately. I think a lot of people are zoomed out, but the benefit here is that we are always live. It's a never pre-recorded session, so you can ask our speakers questions live, and it's very interactive. We make sure that all of the students that are in the program get a chance to network with each other as well, because that's super valuable. Sometimes we have farmers that collaborate and they share ingredients with each other, and I think that's a really exciting part of this program for us, is to see the networking that comes out of it. Aside from just our speakers and the students, it's cool to see the students network with each other. And so if you want to learn more, of course, you can speak with the representatives at Norfolk County, but if you want specific details on Food Venture Program and the specific program, you can go to our website, and more details are also on Norfolk County's BRiNC website as well. Right, that's it for me.
Thank you so very much, Kieran, for all of that great information. I was busy writing, so thank you very much for sharing. What an amazing program you put together there. I would next like to, we'll take questions after the last speaker, if that's okay. Thank you. So the next speaker we have on the agenda is Karen Lindsman. I'd like to share with you a little bit about Karen. Karen is the Director of Operations at Innovation Factory. Karen is an operations leader as well as a certified project management professional. Her experience ranges from fast-paced technology environments like BlackBerry Limited, where she worked on product launches with major telecommunication partners worldwide, to most recently heading the operations of Innovation Factory, a regional business accelerator for those looking to grow and scale their tech or innovative business. She will say her sweet spot is rallying colleagues, business partners, and customers to achieve mutual business successes, championing people and process continuously. Karen holds a Bachelor of Business Administration from Wilfrid Laurier University. She currently resides in Hamilton, Ontario, and is the Vice Chair of Hamilton's Industry Education Council Board of Directors. In her spare time, Karen likes to be active outside with her growing children, enjoying attractions, trails, food, and sport in her local community, and exploring the same in other areas of Ontario, Canada, and beyond. I'd like to welcome her to be our next speaker. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be here. Thanks for the introduction. And oh, the topic and all of the presenters thus far on food is making me a bit hungry this evening. I don't know about you, but really great to be here and so glad to be involved in the program. So I'm just going to take a second to get situated with my slides. I have a few to run through this evening. Just a minute. Can I get a confirmation that you can see my first slide?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm not going to spend too much time introducing myself, but I'm Karen and I'm here on behalf of Innovation Factory. You've heard a little bit about us already from Fraser, which I really appreciate his words, and hopefully some of the context that he provided in his introduction about what he does and how he has used Innovation Factory will help connect the dots to our participation in the BRiNC program. And we're very happy to be the supporter of the business acceleration side to this cohort. So Innovation Factory, just in case you don't know, and I'm assuming most of the audience will need a little bit of a primer about who we are. We're a regional innovation center. And what we do is, just so you know, also our region includes Hamilton, Brantford, and Norfolk County. Regional innovation centers are primarily targeted towards tech startups and are meant to accelerate the early stages of business development. We're also a not-for-profit organization that's funded primarily from the Ontario government and our strategic partners. Most of our services and programs are at no cost, and what we offer as a part of the BRiNC program will also be at no cost. So our location, and we hope there'll be an opportunity for you to explore where we're based in the near future, is in McMaster Innovation Park. We have 10,000 square feet of really exciting space. And if you're not too familiar with the park, it's off the Aberdeen exit of Highway 403 in Hamilton and nicely located for us between our partners at McMaster University and Mohawk College. Just to give you a sense of our mandate and what we provide and provide some context as well to why we're involved in this program. We're a business accelerator. We're dedicated to helping Ontario-based businesses launch, scale, and succeed. So we provide startups, scaling companies with advisory services, training, mentorship, strategic connections, all to help bring disruptive technologies to market, leverage their intellectual property, increase revenues, attract investment, and ultimately create jobs. To put some of those words now all into play, I thought I would play a quick video that highlights some of the work we do, and it also features a few more clients, like you heard from Fraser, but I'd also note that one of the clients featured in the video I'm about to show, named PhotoFlow, are a business that launched out of Simcoe. So hopefully this plays with no issues.
Our job is to be a catalyst for innovation here in Hamilton. So we're the Hamilton Regional Innovation Center.
Innovation Factory has been a huge help to our company. They really help us take a step back and look at our business objectively.
There's always something that you need help to understand or a tip, and it can be tactical or strategic. They cover everything.
Some of the client service team, like Shannon, she's helped us out tremendously, working one-on-one with us.
The executive and residents have been extremely helpful and really moved the needle in my business.
Lunch and learns.
Sales peer-to-peer.
Sales peer-to-peer.
As an entrepreneur, it's extremely important to get out of your comfort zone, and I think Lions Lair will give you a little bit of everything that you need.
Welcome to the Lions Lair Awards Gala.
We're pleased to announce this year's winner,
Both Lions Lair and Innovation Factory have positioned us really well to kind of accelerate our growth, moving to the next stage of our company.
Everything is a learning opportunity, that the people who are part of the Synapse program are there to give you very important advice. So listen carefully, because you can only learn good things that apply to your business from it.
Now I can much better understand where my business is at, where it might go in the future, and what I need to do to bridge that gap.
Take it to the next level.
Awesome. I hope that video helps relay a little bit more context to what we do. You heard some names of events and other programs and offerings that we have in there. And my hope is if you're involved in our cohort as a participant, you'll learn a bit more about some of the specifics of those events and programs. Hopefully you'll be able to attend and participate in some of those other offerings. But to keep going and to paint a more of a picture of what we do, I've highlighted here a bit more of those key components to our offering, our advisory services, identification of funding, access to support around intellectual property, market intelligence. You've heard a lot about the strategic connections, networking, and training and workshops that we provide, but a lot of access as it relates to mentors, expert advisors. We have women-specific focused programming and opportunities, as well as sector-focused in terms of support of programs and resources directly for integrated transportation and mobility companies. So to dive in a bit to our cohort and participants of the Business Accelerator component of BRiNC, just wanted to paint a picture of the workshops that are a part of our series. And you'll note they're each 3 hours long, and there'll be 8 different workshops that are offered. Just like you heard with respect to the Food Venture program, these are going to be delivered virtually. However, they'll also have a live instruction, live engagement and interaction with your fellow participants, and lots of communication and opportunities to engage with us outside of the workshops as well. But just to kind of go through the different areas of the sessions, you can read through the bullets there. Now, to complement the workshops, we'll also be offering advisory services that are one-on-one, up to an hour that you can book with our client services team. You heard about them in the video as well, and those are your advisors who are on the floor offering the latest information, direction, and support for you during your business journey. We also have specialized advisory services coming from our CFO, as well as executives and residents who will help provide and complement support to you. And lastly, a lot of introductions. You heard Fraser mention that was a big part of what he's gained as a part of being an Innovation Factory client. And the more we get to know about you and your business, we will be opening as many doors as possible and making sure we can help expand your network. So that's all from Innovation Factory. We're really excited to be delivering this Accelerator program, and we look forward to hearing you and understanding how we can help your business. So if there's any questions, we are going to be standing by for the Q&A portion. And following that, our email will be shared in case you need to reach us directly. Thanks so much. I'll pass it back to you, Christine.
Thank you so very much, Karen, for sharing all of that great information. Innovation Factory certainly has a lot of resources that are now available to people in Norfolk County. So for those of you who are on the call, highly recommend it. It's a fantastic place. Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to introduce Alex Brown, who is the founder of eRockstars. So Alex, who serial entrepreneur and founder of e-commerce Rockstars. With expertise in e-commerce, sales, marketing, and branding, Alex Brown is a serial entrepreneur who has started, scaled, and sold a variety of e-commerce businesses. He was the co-founder of the Dollar Beard Club, a subscription-based company that went from 0 to 10 million in its first year. His companies have done over 120 million in e-commerce revenue in a variety of verticals. Alex has worked in almost every area of his companies to learn by doing and then build out rockstar teams to scale and grow. He is currently a partner and president at Truly Free, an 8-figure e-commerce brand that has freed over 300,000 homes from toxic chemical cleaning products. Without further ado, Alex Brown.
Well, thank you very, very much for the introduction. Thanks for having me. I'm really honored to be here. Honestly, thank you guys so much for putting this event on. It's really important. It's really awesome to see what's going on in Norfolk County. And I feel like kind of a bit of a poser when you guys have such a rock star mayor calling myself a rock star. What a cool bio. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the e-commerce Rockstars program, who it's for, how it came to be, and why I'm doing it. So kind of like the intro said, I've been in e-commerce for 7 years now. I started down in California, and much like Fraser's story, you know, I thought it's going to be awesome. I'm going to move to California. We're going to be really successful right off the bat. And that really was not the case. For the first 2 years, I didn't make any money. We struggled. We did crowdfunding campaigns. We had several businesses that very much struggled. We were Airbnb-ing our rooms oftentimes at our place in California in Huntington Beach, sleeping outside, sleeping in the garage. Sounds a lot worse than it is. Even winter in California is pretty awesome, Southern California. But through that process, learned a lot, right? And all the failures kind of build and build and build until we had this kind of viral success with the Beard Club. So I'm gonna share my little presentation here, which I apologize in advance, is not the best, but we will make do. And I assume you guys can see my screen. So basically, kind of explain who I am. The two biggest brands I've been a part of, the Beard Club and now Truly Free, together they've gone on to make, well over $120 million in revenue. And I don't say that to try and brag. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. I'm just like a normal dude. I've kind of built these companies and occupied pretty much every role you can think of, from supply chain manager to customer service specialist to CEO to bottle washer, literally everything. And through that process, I've messed a lot of things up, right? And I've learned a lot of lessons the hard way. That being said, I've also had the pleasure of working with some of the best people in the industry. I've made amazing connections with some of the best people in the e-commerce industry that have helped me navigate very complex challenges. And I've been able to hire my replacements and hire people who are more qualified than I am to do this job, and then learn from them as well. And for e-commerce Rockstars, it really came about. I stepped back from Beard Club, and before I became a partner at Truly Free, and we started to grow that business, I got asked a lot of the same questions, right? It's like, hey, how do I get through this part of product development or retention, or this is what's going on with my website? And so I created a program with 15 different foundations that I feel like every e-commerce entrepreneur should know. And these are people, by and large, for the most part, that will go through this program. This will be the 5th time that I've done this. So you're not the guinea pigs. Don't worry if you're selected. I have advised over 100 brands. I've seen a lot of different things from a lot of different angles. And the Beard Club was really targeted towards dudes who rode motorcycles and played sports and all that sort of stuff. Truly Free is actually moms and grandmas 35 to 65 who are on a health journey or want to make the best choice for their family. So 2 totally different businesses. At the core, a lot of businesses in e-commerce are the exact same. I don't know why I just exited full screen. As I was saying, I mess up a lot, and that's all right. So really who this is for is, there's no, other than having gotten started, this really isn't for people who just have an idea. It sounds like, you know, there are tons of other options for you, but there's also lots of time before we get started with e-commerce rockstar. So if you just do have an idea, all that you have to do to qualify and to apply for this is to have at least sold one thing online, right? And it's important for a lot of reasons, but just to have gotten started, to have started selling stuff online and proven to yourself that you can do it. I've gotten to the level I'm at just by working my butt off, by meeting the right people, by going to trainings like this, by networking with people, and by being coachable and humble, because I still make mistakes every single day. I sent out an email to 150,000 people yesterday with a typo in it. Kind of humbling still. Here's what we cover. Again, not good at PowerPoint, so these are two lists that start at number 1. But these are the cohorts that we go through. So we've got, you know, kind of the vision mindset. We go through data analytics and metrics, so how to measure your success and make it. Organization processes and SOPs. So how to put hours back in your day and not work too many hours and be crazy. The fun one everybody wants to learn about, which is customer acquisition and revenue growth, branding, content, product development and sourcing, manufacturing, contract manufacturing, sourcing, all that stuff, packaging, fulfillment and logistics, website and tech, building your team, Amazon and other sales platforms, finance, so cash flow planning, all that sort of stuff, and retention and customer experience. That's a lot of stuff. And this is kind of how we do it. It's very similar to the program that was just on before this. There's a mixture of online self-directed learning. I have 25 of some of the best people in various areas like website, like finance. So there's an online learning portion of this where you will do this at your own pace. I know all of you have your own business. Many of you have families, and many of you have jobs on top of this, right? So this program is not meant to just stack more on. You can do this at your own pace. If you get a little bit behind, that's fine. Every single week, we go over what was kind of assigned as the online learning ahead of time. So you'll watch some videos, very little written training, mostly videos and interviews. And then we go through that together with weekly group coaching calls. And this is like the coolest part. This is community, right? As Fraser said, as a lot of people have said here, it can be really lonely. So this is like a weekly check-in program for 12 weeks where we're making progress in all 15 areas of your business. It also starts and finishes with one-on-one time with myself, and I'm always available by email in between then. So really, again, we're covering a lot of these things in a short period of time, but you'll get access to all the videos. You'll get access to me on an ongoing basis. Like I said, I've done this for 5 times now, well over 100 companies. I still have people from earlier cohorts come in and check out lessons when we're doing this, share their experience. It's just a really good time because, as everyone has said, it can be very lonely out there. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Obviously, save some time for. Oh, I didn't have my camera on this whole time. I really apologize, guys. This is what I look like. Yeah, I guess I'm really bad with PowerPoint too. But please, you know, definitely apply today if this sounds like you and you want to grow your business, physical products online. I'd be really happy to meet you and talk to you about the program. But I love this stuff. This is what I eat, sleep, and breathe every single day. I'm not an academic. I actually do this stuff all day, and I love teaching it at night because I get a lot from it too. Helping one another is really, I've gotten helped a lot to get where I am. So I'm happy to give back, and I give it my all during this program. So hope to see you guys then, and I'll answer questions after that too. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex, for that, your rendition of how things are going for you. It was exhausting, but I appreciate your sharing. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all of our presenters for the wonderful information that was shared, and I'd like to introduce Zvi Lifshitz, Director of Strategic Innovation and Economic Development for Norfolk County, to come on and get a little bit more information to us about how to apply and some of the mechanics of how to move on forward with this.
Yeah, thanks, Christine. So that was pretty exciting. Hopefully everyone is as excited and enthused as I am by this. We really have a diverse set of products here, and I think there's something for every entrepreneur in Norfolk County. But beyond just the programs themselves, we really are starting to reach out to, we've got the Hamilton Innovation Factory folks here. We've got Brantford Resource Center, which are part of this, and we've got May on the line today from the Brantford Resource Center. So really, it's also part of starting to connect Norfolk to the region and other entrepreneurship hubs and ecosystems. So I'm truly excited. If there's anything that you saw today that you're interested in, I put a link into the chat. Just go to www.norfolkcounty.ca/BRiNC, and there you'll see all the information about the programs that we currently have available, the dates, and most importantly, you can click on that apply button and fill in the information about what it is that you're thinking that you'd like to start as a business, or what your business currently does and what you would like it to do. And that form comes to us, and that's the first step for you to be able to be part of this program or these programs. The other thing is, I'll just say, keep coming back to the website often, because BRiNC is more than just these cohort programs. We are looking at ways where we can bring in some additional, not everybody can do a multi-week workshop. So we're looking at ways that we can add, 2-hour workshops or a 1-day boot camp, which is focused on a very specific topic. How do you sell in this particular channel? It would be a one day type thing, or raising capital, whatever. So we're still working through some of those things and skill building opportunities. So keep coming back. But I do urge you, if you do have a business and you are looking for growth, or you have an idea that you would like to start as a business, please check out norfolkcounty.ca/BRiNC, and we would be glad to receive your application. So with that, I have unblocked everybody's camera, I believe. And so if anybody wants to jump on and ask a question, as I said, you can use your raise hand feature, which is a little hand with a smiley face, or put it into the chat. And hopefully we have some questions here tonight that we can answer. And if not, and if our presenters did such a fantastic job that there aren't any questions, just as good. But I'll stop talking now and see if anyone does have any questions. All right, seeing none. So that's great. Again, I appreciate everybody and the speakers, all of the participants, and Mayor Chop, everybody for coming out this evening. And if there are questions, please go onto the website. You can contact them through us, or you can contact me directly at Norfolk County. Just my email is a little bit complicated, but if you actually respond to the email that you got this invite from, that's the economic.development@norfolkcounty.ca. We'll be able to get those as well and follow up with any answers you might have. So that's it for me, and over to you, Christine.
Thank you very much, Zvi. Wow, that was amazing. I too live and breathe entrepreneurship as a GM at Venture Norfolk, and this is inspiring to me. And just a few things I jotted down. I know the questions were light, but networking, asking for help, combining expertise. I think the big thing is put your hand up. There is an ecosystem out there to help you. And one thing I've known from working with entrepreneurs is they do support other entrepreneurs because they know how hard the journey is, and they're the first ones to put up their hand and offer help. So thank you all. I wanted to extend a sincere thanks to all of our presenters. Thank you for sharing and for being open to that. I also would like to give a big shout out thanks to Zvi and his team at Norfolk County for setting all of this up. It looks easy, but I know it's not behind the scenes, and I want to thank you for all of your work there. I would also like to thank all of our guest speakers who shared their insights and journey tonight. You really left us inspired and encouraged, and thank you so much. And in conclusion, I'd like to thank and congratulate all of the participants for taking their first step on their entrepreneurial journey. You are not alone. You have a lot of resources here at Norfolk County, and Zvi and his team are bringing even more to help you out. But this is your first step, so thank you so much for joining this call. We're all here to support you. We all want you to succeed. Welcome to the Brink, everybody. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Night night.